"Stop. Do not open that trunk." The boy already knew something was wrong. The car was too quiet, too clean, too alone. The moment his hand touched the cold metal, his life split in two before and after. "Stop. Do not open that trunk." The words formed in the boy's mind like a warning he did not know how to hear. His fingers were already shaking as they curled around the latch. Rust bit into his skin. His heart pushed hard against his ribs. Whatever waited inside that abandoned car was about to change everything. He was small for his age, thin in a way. That spoke of missed meals and long walks. His shoes were 2 sizes too big, soles peeling like tired skin. His hoodie smelled of dust and old soap. He stood alone at the edge of a cracked parking lot behind a closed grocery store, where weeds pushed through broken asphalt and silence felt heavy enough to press on his shoulders. People passed this place every day and never looked. They never saw him either. The boy's name was Elijah. He was 12 years old, and the world had already taught him how to be invisible. He had come looking for bottles to return. Loose change meant bread. Bread meant his little sister would sleep without crying tonight. He had not planned to find a car sitting crooked near the dumpsters, paint faded, windows dark. Trunk slightly open like a mouth trying to speak, his stomach twisted. Fear told him to run. Hunger told him to stay. Elijah took a breath that burned his lungs and pulled. The trunk opened. Inside was not darkness, was not empty. Inside was a baby. The child lay wrapped in a thin blanket, chest rising and shallow. Uneven breaths. The baby's skin was soft and warm, eyes closed tight like they were holding on to life itself. A tiny fist rested near its face. There was no cry, only silence. Elijah staggered back, heart slamming so loud he was sure the whole lot could hear it. Someone had left a baby here. Someone had closed the trunk and walked away. The world had just crossed a line it could not take back. Elijah stood frozen, mind racing faster than his feet ever could. He looked around. Cars passed on the road beyond the fence. People hurried by with bags and phones and busy lives. No one noticed the boy. No one noticed the open trunk. No one noticed the baby fighting quietly to breathe. This was how injustice lived. Not loud, not dramatic, just ignored. Elijah's hands trembled as he reached into the trunk. The blanket was thin. The baby was cold. He pulled the child close to his chest, instinct guiding him more than thought. The baby stirred, a small sound escaping its lips. Like a question. Elijah whispered words he had heard his mother say years ago, before sickness took her away. Soft words. Safe words. Promises he was not sure he could keep. His own story had begun. In a place like this, Elijah had been 8 when his mother stopped coming home from the hospital. He remembered the smell of clean sheets mixed with medicine. He remembered her hand squeezing his, weak but warm. He remembered her smile, brave and tired, telling him to look after his sister no matter what. After she was gone, the world shrank. They moved from couch to couch. Some nights were loud with arguments. Some nights were quiet in the worst way. Elijah learned how to count coins in the dark. He learned how to read people's faces to know when to ask for help and when to stay silent. He learned that being poor meant being judged before you spoke. Being black meant being watched even when you did nothing wrong. He learned how to disappear, but holding that baby, Elijah felt something he had not felt in years. He felt needed. The baby's breath fluttered against his chest, as fragile as a leaf. In wind, Elijah knew he could not leave. He also knew that staying could be dangerous. People saw boys like him and assumed trouble. They did not assume hero. A security truck rolled slowly into the lot, tires crunching gravel. The guard stepped out, eyes narrowing when he saw Elijah. "What are you doing here?" The words were sharp, heavy with suspicion. Elijah froze, baby held tight. His mouth opened, but fear stole his voice. The guard's gaze dropped to the child. Confusion flickered, then doubt, then something colder. "Where did you get that?" Bystanders stopped. Phones lifted. Whispers moved through the air like smoke. No one stepped closer to the baby. They stepped closer to judgment. Elijah shook his head, trying to explain without words. Pointed to the car, to the trunk. It's the truth. The guard did not listen. He saw a poor boy. He saw a problem. He saw rules. He reached for his radio. Elijah's heart pounded. Felt the weight of every story he had ever heard. Boys like him did not get the benefit of doubt. Silence was not innocence. Silence was guilt. Still, Elijah did not run. He stood there, back straight, baby secure. Eyes steady. Sometimes doing the right thing means standing still. When the world expects you to flee. A woman pushed through the crowd. Her hair was streaked with gray. Her eyes were sharp and tired and kind all at once. She saw the baby first. And she saw Elijah. She saw the truth. "Call an ambulance," she said. Now the guard hesitated. Authority met humanity, and for a moment, neither moved. The baby coughed. Small, weak sound that cut through everything. That sound broke the spell. Sirens came. Blue and red lights painted the lot. Paramedics rushed in, hands gentle and sure. They took the baby carefully, checking breath, warmth, life. One of them looked at Elijah. "You did good, kid." The words were quiet. They landed heavy. The guard stepped back. The crowd fell silent. Phones lowered. No one clapped. No one cheered. Respect does not always make noise. As the ambulance doors closed, the baby's tiny hand brushed Elijah's sleeve. He did not know if it was real or imagined. He hoped the child would live. He hoped the world would be kinder than it had been to him. Later, questions were asked. Cameras came. The story spread. Not about a crime. It's about a boy who did not look away. People learned Elijah's name. They learned that courage does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "Stay." A local shelter reached out. Donations came. Not because of pity, because of honor. The guard apologized. Not loudly, but fully. Elijah went home that night with bread and milk and something new inside his chest. Pride. The car was towed. The lot returned to silence. But something had shifted, because one poor black boy refused to be invisible, because he opened a trunk, chose life. Some heroes do not wear uniforms. Some heroes do not raise their voices. Some heroes are 12 years old and shaking and still refuse to walk away. Elijah would never forget the weight of that baby. He would never forget the fear or the choice. Years later, when people asked him how he knew what to do, he would think back to that moment. The cold metal, the quiet lot, the breath against his chest, and he would know. Doing the right thing is not about who you are allowed to be. It is about who you decide to be when no one is watching. If this story moved you, share where you are watching from. Tell us what you would have done. And subscribe for more stories that honor quiet strength, unseen courage, and the heroes who never asked to be seen.